There's a sister that's warning black parents about sending their children to these expensive prep schools who are dominated by the folks and what can happen to their children. Let's go ahead and check that out.
Someone needs to do an academic study on the outcomes and the experiences of young black girls who go to predominantly white prep schools. I firmly believe if you are sending your young black daughter to a really nice elite prep school, be prepared not only to pay that tuition now, but to also pay for very expensive therapy in a decade from now. I went to one of those like $50,000, $60,000 a year prep schools from 6th grade up until 12th grade. I played lacrosse, field hockey, crew on the Charles River. It was also a New England prep school. I think there's also a regional nuance here. It was psychological warfare. Spending your most formative years not being the standard of beauty, being ostracized, oftentimes being the only one in your class, having to learn about slavery in a very unsafe environment. I don't think parents understand the psychological cost and warfare on young black girls to go to these elite prep schools. Forget about having a boyfriend. Forget about going to prom. Forget about learning about race and consciousness in a healthy and safe way. Forget about if you're smart, if you're talented, if you're pretty, even if your parents have money. It is torture. You cannot fully know yourself and also be self-aware and develop a healthy sense of self in a space like that. I refuse. You can argue with me if you want. You can't do it. And I'm saying this for young black girls specifically because I think young black boys, though the trauma might also still exist, I think they have very different experiences than young black girls who go to prep school.
You couldn't get me to do that. I'm sorry. You just could not get me to do that because I understand the folks' culture. And I know anti-black racism is going to come up when we're very small in number. You understand? Because anti-black racism is taught in the home, whether it's from the poorest of them to the most wealthy of them. It's taught in the home and anyone in between that spectrum. This is why you see some of the most racist and vile things coming up out of kids at that age because they learn it in their household. You understand? Because a lot of them not even around black folks to say they had bad experiences. They just taking what they heard or the propaganda they see on TV or whatever, right? And if you, as a black person, send your children to schools with people that look like them, you find the best school, of course. And if you can't find a school that's predominantly black, that's a good school, make sure the school is a school that's extremely diverse and make sure that the black numbers are still high in that diverse school. Don't be in a spot where there's only 2% black people, maybe 12, 15% Hispanics, maybe 10% Asians and the rest white because no. You got to make sure that black number is just as high in these diverse schools. I'm telling you, don't put your children in no school where no black people are at. That's why I say don't even move to no neighborhood where no black people at either. You're the only black person in the whole neighborhood. You're the only black person on the block. No. We shouldn't do that to our children or ourselves. There are neighborhoods that's very diverse, that have a lot of black folks in it, and they're nice areas. So definitely here in the Houston area, sure, you can find plenty of that. Definitely plenty of it. But yes, don't subject your children to that because you're not going to that school dealing with that issue and problem. And the majority of parents who's doing that went to a public school where about a lot of black folks was at anyway, most of them. But you get money, you say, okay, I want my child to have a better education, better this, better that. But at what expense? Like she said, yeah, you may get the education, but later that child gonna suffer. And that's really what it is. We always gotta think about our children's peace of mind and in their formative years, like this sister was saying.